Alrighty, so we're gonna go over how to lay out one of these plates here. So it's gonna be a bottom plate, and since this is built on a slab, we're gonna need to drill this out to go over these anchor bolts right here. But it's laid out just the same way as any other wall. Now this happens to be the front of the garage right here. So our outside wall, this one right here is a 20-footer. We're gonna run this wall from outside to outside. So that means that this wall here is gonna be from inside of this wall to the inside of the back wall. So if our garage was 30 feet long, it's 30 feet minus 4, minus another 4 back there. So this plate right here would measure 29 foot 4 inches. So we got this cut down and we started our layout right here. Now, since our stud's gonna be right on the end down there, the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna take our tape measure. I'm gonna hook it on my end. And you're gonna notice that I have 15 1/4 and goes. That's because our stud's gonna be 1.5 inches. And since our stud's 1.5 inches, the center part of 1.5 inches is 3/4. And if we take a look, we wanted our layout to be 16 inches on center. So rather than laying out the center of the stud, we found the center of the stud, we subtracted 3/4, and we put our line right there, and our X signifies where our stud's gonna go. So when we actually nail this wall together, we're gonna use a stud like this, and it would go right in like so. So that's why the line and the X is there. So what we did was we came down and we flooded this wall with studs. So you'll see it's 3/4 less, a 16 there, same thing there, same thing there, all the way down. The other thing that I did was I had to lay out a door right here. And if we take a look, our door is signified by 1 jack and 1 stud. And our door for this particular project is 32 inches. Now since it's 32 inches, we looked at the door and it called for a rough opening of 34.5 inches. So if I was to measure from this line here, the inside of my jack, to this line here, the inside of my jack, put this right here. See how that's right on that line? And you're gonna notice that we're right on 34.5. So it was our 32-inch door, and it wanted us to add 2.5 inches for our rough opening. We did the same thing when we came down here, and we wanted a window. We found the center of our window, and we checked our window. Our window actually called for a 24-inch rough opening. It's not a 24-inch window, it's a 24-inch rough opening window. So we found our center, and we came a foot this way, all right, and then a foot this way, because 1 foot plus 1 foot is going to be 2 foot. We put a window in right there. We came down here, and we put a window in right down here as well. So next thing that we're going to go over how to lay out, I'm sorry, here's the one side of the window, here's the other side of the window. The next thing we're going to go over how to lay out is going to be how to put these anchor bolts through this bottom plate so it's nice and good. We're going to go over that next. All right, so we got the wall plate all laid out. We're going to go over how to lay out these the holes for doing our anchor bolts right here. So Ad, come on up. And normally I would like to grab this out here, but since we're missing a little bit on this bottom plate, we're gonna come over here like this, and we're gonna draw this line and this line, and we're gonna do this the whole way down. So bring that down here, Ed. And we already have these ones here done. Now we're gonna show you the next thing that we're gonna do, and this is just as important. We're gonna move these plates. All right, so now we're gonna show you how to mark out the center points of these anchor bolts right here. So we're gonna measure on this particular piece right here, we're gonna measure off the back of this plate, because the back of this plate is the inside of the wall. So we're gonna come from here to here. And if we measure our anchor bolt is 1/2 inch. So we know that half of an inch is 1/4. So by taking our square right here, we can go right to our outside of our line. Can you see this, Addison? All right, and we can see that the center of this is going to be at this mark right here, which happens to be 4 7/8. So I bring this over here, put that to my outside, and I would mark out my 4 7/8. Now, on this particular piece right here, when we go and drill this, since this is a 1/2 of an inch bolt, we're going to drill this at 5/8 of an inch, and that gives us a little bit of room. And if the wall's off a little bit, when we put it down here later on, we can tap these bolts once we have the nut on here a little bit to get them good. But I think we're going to be in great shape if we do this. We could also take a tape measure, do the same thing, measure from here to the outside plus a 1/4 of an inch. And if we did that, it would be from here to the outside, 2 1/8 plus 3/8, or plus 1/4 is 3/8. And if we take a look from here, we're at 2 3/8 right on our line. So we're in great shape. Same skill. All right, so we're laying out our second wall here, same as the first one, except no windows, no doors. And what we're going to do is we are going to joint these 2 plates here together to make it easy for us to lay out. And the best way to do this is going to be to take one of these 8D sinker nails right here, and we're going to put it right to the top right here, and we're going to put this one here at about a 45-degree angle, and we're going to flush it up like so. Alright, we're just going to lightly hit this here in, bringing this close to flush. And next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put my foot right behind this right here. I'm going to put another nail right here. And since I just want this to be a holding toenail, I want this angle right here against this board to be 30 degrees. What I don't want it to do is to be 60 degrees to it. All right, number 1, it's just going to blow out this side over here. Number 2, it's not going to hold it. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to put this nail in right here. And we're going to come over here on this side, and we're going to put another toenail right here. And this is nice and snug. That way we can lay it out now and not have to worry about this separating at all.